Good morning, it's 4:20 a.m. I'm serious, it's 4:20 in the morning. How very interesting. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts today. I'm still in bed, so this report is Island Mountain Pat reporting from in bed, in the dark, with my eyes closed. Anyway, I want to talk to you about terrorism. Do you know what terrorism is? Terrorism is the act of inflicting terror. That's my definition that I just came up with. So basically, since it's the act of inflicting terror, war is terrorism. Not just some wars, but all wars are terrorism. And who's been fighting terrorism since 1492? The Native Americans. Let's talk about the Native Americans. So evidently, the Europeans sailed over here to the United States, and they broke bread with the Indians, and they created Thanksgiving, right? And everything was supposed to be cool. But 200 years later, the Indians are basically in concentration camps. No, they're not in concentration camps. They might as well be. They're on these reservations in the middle of nowhere, up in South Dakota, where the weather, especially in the winter, is so beautiful, with like minus 50 degrees, and then they're down in like Death Valley, where it gets like 150 degrees in the winter or in the summer, places like that. Anyway, they're not doing good, so they've been killed off, is what I'm trying to say, by the quote-unquote white man. And they've called that in history class. It's one thing I remember learning in high school. Manifest destiny. Did you ever learn that? Manifest destiny. Well, it's basically the push west to take over America with the railroads and the Lewis and Clark. I guess I don't know. I don't really know all the details about these little history adventures. But anyway, what happened is the Europeans took over America and displaced, slaughtered really, the Native American people. The question then becomes, is that wrong? Look at what we've created. All these big, beautiful cities, all this technology. Was it wrong to take the Native Americans' land by force, by lies, trickery? That's the question. We wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, laying in this queen-size bed, a king in a queen-size bed, if that didn't happen, if we didn't have this manifest destiny. Well, let me tell you, I think it's wrong, and I think it's a shame, and I think it's a sin, and that's why the Native Americans have been fighting terrorism since 1492. Have you seen the shirt? It shows a bunch of Indians on a t-shirt, silk screen down there, and it says, fighting terrorism since 1492. I love it. That's great. So fast forward, this is what really perturbs me about current day politics. The same thing is still happening. It's probably been happening since the beginning of time. Let's just put that out there too. I know it's nothing new. this conquering, I want what you have, bullshit, by crook or by hook or by rock or by force or by fist or by whatever, fire, burn you out, to steal your land, take your wife, whatever, kill your kids, whatever, all this primitive shit behavior, uncivilized, barbaric crap, been happening since the beginning of time, since Adam and Steve had their, Adam and Eve, whatever. I don't even buy into that fairy tale either. Might as well go to Disneyland and get in the teacups and spin around. But anyway, the same thing is happening today. It's still happening. And we call ourselves civilized? That's civilized? That's total bullshit. We're not civilized. Not when it comes to terrorism. Not when it comes to war. That's not civilized. Sorry. And generally, there's documents that show most wars start as a result of lies. Civilized. Lie is almost in the word civilized, but lies. Look it up. I may even generate a link and post it that basically shows that most of the wars in human history, or at least in the last 100 years, have been as a result of lying. So, and today they call these lies false flags, where someone basically, puts it's a maritime, the false flag started from like people on the ships with holding up a white flag or something, and then the enemy, whatever, the other boat, the opposition comes up to the boat and they still got their white flag up, and then they drop the white flag and start fighting with them, It's basically a lie, or, it's a fake. It's kind of like football. The players use fakes all the time. They try to fake out their opponent. So this faking and this lying horseshit still going on today. And it started with 9/11 pretty much. It's been going on forever, but my attention started on 9/11, where supposedly all these foreigners outsmarted the most powerful nation in the world, and they hijacked evidently 2 or 3 airliners and outsmarted the whole United States military, because Dick was in Bush. Dick and Bush were fucking around in the White House, and they just happened to have a war games scenario. They were training is what was going on. They had a drill during the same time that was going on. So, the air traffic controllers and the military just couldn't figure it out. So these guys, these foreigners, they couldn't even fly a little fucking airplane, outsmarted the whole United States military. And if you believe that, you need to fucking really go back to school. Sorry. Like preschool, and start over. And get your, your elementary school degree again and your high school diploma, because, don't even do that, because the whole system will produce another brain like yours that believe that a few people from Saudi Arabia or wherever they were from outsmarted the whole United States military. Yeah. So if like a few towel heads or camel jockeys come over here and they can outsmart the United States, what can China do, or Russia, or Mexico, anybody do. Well, anyway, it's lies, basically lies. So the whole thing was a frickin' lie. And what happened as a result of this gigantic lie? And if you don't think the United States government would lie to you, I got news for you. Time to wake up and smell the corruption. Okay, so what happened? We go to war with Iraq on a lie. The weapons of mass destruction. Now, even the presidents are saying, well, it was a mistake. It was really a mistake. After the fact, it was a mistake. They take out whatever his name, the leader of Iraq, whatever his name is. The result of it, 2 million people are dead. 1 million, 2 million, whatever, 3 million. A lot of people are injured. And evidently we didn't get any oil or nothing. We were just trying to help them. Well, that's bullshit. We're not trying to help nobody in this context anyway. So anyway, Israel benefits from 9/11. Iraq's Saddam Hussein's dead. And then that's not enough because Israel, still feels threatened by all the neighbors that don't bow down to the Rothschilds and to the private Federal Reserve that's trying to take over the world through their monopoly money manipulation of the whole world economy. Well, that's kind of changing. That's a war in itself, is over the US dollar, the petrodollar tied to oil. So now that Iraq's buried and babies are slaughtered, innocent women and children, men, lost their lives due to terror, in our civilized world, that's not enough. So we've got on the back burner this Afghanistan war going. More terror. Who's committing it? Same thing that happened to the Native Americans. The Europeans, the United States, Israel, and associates. It's Europe, the United States, Israel, and their associates like Canada, like Australia, like the United Arab Emirates, like the people that built Dubai, the people that are kind of have joined Turkey at one point. Anyway, so these are all gang members. They all gang up like a pack of wolves, and they've been fighting in Afghanistan for 20 years, burying that country with lies and bombs and whatever kind of sanctions they can instill. But Afghanistan happens to be one of the major growers of opium in the world, right? And so the United States is, the European United States of Israel and associates, they want to help out the Afghanistans, right? Afghanistanians or whatever they are. They're all family. We're all family. We want to help them, so we just kind of took control of the opium production, and now it's up like 300% or 500%. And what comes from opium? Heroin, right? Opioids. Now we have an opioid and a heroin crisis in America, and probably around the world, thanks to the United States helping the Afghanistan people. Well, I don't think it's the Afghanistan people. Maybe they're doing the slave work, but the United States and their military is controlling it and probably peddling the drugs too. But this talk is not about drug dealing, but you just got a little whiff of it right there. Okay, so that's not enough. Just like it wasn't enough for the Europe to stop at Virginia and Tennessee and Nebraska. That wasn't good enough. They had to keep going all the way towards California and take the whole country. Just like they want to take the whole Middle East because Israel feels threatened, right? So basically Israel is like the aircraft carrier or the launch pad over there for starting to take over. It's kind of like the first step, like at New England. That Israel is the first step. Plymouth Rock over there in the Middle East. And so what's happening is this war that everybody still feels comfortable with war, right? Because it's the right thing to do. I think it's wrong. I think it's totally fucking wrong. It's totally primitive, and it's sinful. It's totally immoral, and all the other words that go along with it. And it's a big money grab. It's a big power grab, and these rich cocksuckers are getting more rich every day. I'm not talking about hard-working people that just made a living off, an honest living that have generated some millions or whatever. I'm talking about the criminal ones that have made their money off slaughtering people in war and stuff like that, and lies and trickery and deception and evil shit. Flipping stocks and junk bonds and stuff like that. So we've got 1,000 billionaires, soon to be trillionaires, but if the truth were told, there would be already trillionaires. I'm sure the Vatican have plenty of trillions, and probably the Queen of England has trillions, and probably the United States have trillions. So much for the richest people in the world are not just billionaires. There's trillionaires out there, not to mention the Rothschilds, who evidently invented, with the Rockefellers, invented the monopoly money game. They print this money out of thin air. It's total bullshit. Okay, I'm just going to print some money on the copier over here, and then I'm going to give it to you, but you're going to have to pay me back, with interest. And that thing is snowballed into this giant game of monopoly money, and they own it all, and they've created tons of money and power. So here we are, back at Iraq in shambles, Afghanistan in shambles, still in shambles. That's not enough. Obama takes out Libya in North Africa. Gaddafi, when he was trying to bring water to the whole region and help turn Africa into a more fertile land, United States and the European United States of Israel and associates bombed the hell out of them, turned that place into shambles, and this gigantic irrigation system that they were creating, which was very, very, very impressive, got blown to bits evidently. That's not enough, and then you got this crap going on in Yemen where it's a world crisis, people are dying. It's basically a war zone too, I imagine. If not that, it's just totally snuffing those people out, starving them to death. That's not enough. So the gang keeps going. They need to conquer the whole country, right? The whole zone, just like the United States got conquered. So, we go over to, Syria. We need to run these oil and gas pipelines. Hell, they got a lot of oil too, or whatever. They're trying to be independent, a sovereign country. Whatever his name is, the guy that, Bashar al-Assad or whatever. Good guy, speaks both languages, makes sense. Well, but the United States can't have him trying to create his own, currency and provide health care and deal with currency other than the United States dollar and all this shit. And no, so we've got to go bomb the fuck out of them and on lies too. I got to take over Syria too. It's connected. It's close to Russia or whatever. So we got another gigantic war. And I'm sure there's been other wars over there as well. And it's to make Israel feel safe, right? That's all bullshit. It's all the European United States of Israel and Associates. It's one big gang. It's a gang. They're a bunch of terrorists. Talk about terrorism and all their little puppet terms as ISIS. It's the jihadists. It's the the extremists and all. They use all these radicalized. What it is radicalized Zionism. That's what it really is. All these other little lies, these little false flags, these little gimmicks and tricks of war create these enemies, little puppets, and create that $500 million in fake news by these foreign companies to show Islam and Muslims as evil people, dressing up like frickin' Hollywood actors and staging all these little things to brainwash Americans and all their other allies, just so their people want to continue the war machine. It's a joke. Total and utter joke. Not in my name. Not in my name. It's not me. I can say it's the United States. It's not me, because I'm not really not behind it. Obviously I live here, but you know what? I'm not voting yes for this horseshit and these lies. I'm not building bombs. I'm not financing the shit. I'm not supporting it. You can say, well, you paying taxes? Well, I don't even pay goddamn taxes. I don't make enough money, and I'm proud of it. Thank you very much. And it's all probably for a reason. Pretty damn proud of it. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we have is a big clusterfuck. And it's supposed to be a civilized world. And yet, there's a lot of uncivilized things going on. So there it is. I know that's one side of the coin. There's two sides of every coin. I could look at all the great things that have happened since then and say, yeah, see, look at all the wonderful things. We got these tractors. We can farm thousands and millions of acres and create all this food, and everybody can eat like pigs and be 300 pounds and 400-pound human beings and sit and watch YouTube and Netflix all day and eating frickin' ham and turkeys and chickens by the fried chicken, Colonel Sanders and everything else, have Big Mac heart attacks, all the supposedly good things. But this speech is about the terrorists, the real terrorists, what I call the European United States of Israel and Associates. And talk about, like, racism. Some people that, get into this religious horseshit. You can call it, they're all of them, except maybe Buddhism. And I'm not, a religious expert by any stretch, but I do know one thing. I don't buy any of that horseshit. And it creates for, like, people in Israel, the Jews believe, evidently, that their religion, and other religions are guilty of it too, but the Jews have a lot of power now. And if you don't believe it, fucking look it up. I mean, more than, their share, that's for damn sure. And what they believe, a lot of them, and I'm not talking about all of them, there's a lot of wonderful Jewish people, just like there's a lot of wonderful Muslims, just like there's a lot of wonderful Christians, or Russians, or whatever, Hindus. But what's happening is, these radicalized Zionists believe that they're fucking like God's gift. They're like the chosen people. They got the holy land, and all the other land in the world is not holy. Fuck, what? Talk about bullshit. It's like George Carlin. Like, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Total and utter bullshit. That they're fucking like the chosen people, and so they need to dominate the world. And it's got to be from Jerusalem. They need to take over the United Nations and control it from Jerusalem now. and have the one world religion and one world, currency, one world language, with everybody having the cow tag in their ear and this chip implanted in their frickin' wrist or their ear or whatever. Unbelievable. All guided and directed by the brilliant power of AI, automated intelligence. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So pretty soon we're going to be walking around, not most people are, they're already walking around like they're sleepwalking. I call it sheep walking, but because they're like numb and dumb, they've been bred to be numb and dumb. Speaking of breeding, you got these people that can't afford, they don't even have a brain, they don't even understand how reproduction even works, other than just go through the act like a rabbit fucking. And they have these children, and not just one, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have no money, so it's up to the taxpayers and others to try to provide a life for these people. It's unbelievable. It happens all around the world. It's just sick. And we're supposed to be intelligent? Jeez. It's pretty sad. And then you got these stupid pharmaceutical industries that are run by the same criminals that have been lying to you about the wars and everything else, and the frickin' media, totally owned and controlled, basically directed under the control of Israel and the Jewish people. Not so much Israel, but the Jewish people have gotten to fucking totally dominate the whole sector. They're working pretty good on controlling the whole government too. And they probably control the pharmaceutical industry and everything else now too. But it's not just them. I know it's not just them, but they have a large stake in it. Just dealing with the facts. And then the organization of the Jewish people, they're all networked, and now they're going to go, okay, go after Pat Riley because he's an anti-Semite. He's an anti-Semite. He's a Jew hater. That's fucking bullshit. I am opposed to any monopoly that tries to use trickery and lies to dominate others and to spur more war. And if you want to be a fucking warmonger, go for it. You call me any fucking name you want, you piece of shit, because I ain't buying it. Save your drum for your mama and whatever. If you want to take me out, go for it. You and your Mossad and all your other CIA, your SEALs, your Rangers, your fucking stealth fucking whatever, your helicopters and your jets and whatever, bring it on. I don't care. Because I'm a peaceful person. And I'm going to stand for fucking being a civilized, intelligent human being instead of a thug trying to amass all the power and control I can to take over the world so I can buy not an 800-foot yacht, but a 900-foot yacht this year. And have not 5 houses, but 50 houses and all this other horse shit about stocks and gold and all this bullshit. Life is such a precious thing. And if you want to frickin' do anything, call me whatever, call your little names, do your little tricks, stage your little 9/11, start your next war with Iran, and then the next war with whatever, the aliens, the invisible aliens, and create your Hollywood movie because we need to go to frickin' Pluto and defend poor America against, or the United States and planet Earth against the people of Pluto, because we have to go there, and we need to keep slavery alive and the prison industrial complex alive so we can fund and fuel the cruise to Pluto. Whatever, I don't buy it. So what we have is the European United States of Israel and associates, big gang, still pushing forward, still committing acts of terror. And it's not in my name. Sorry. Not in my name. I want peace all over. I want peace in the United States. I want it in Syria. I want it in Iran. I want it in Israel. I want peace for the whole world. I want peace for China, peace for everybody. And we can. There's no reason. There is no goddamn reason why we can't have a peaceful economy instead of a war-based economy. There is no reason. The past does not have to equal the present or the future. It's just a fact. It's just we have these criminal cocksucker psychopaths in charge of the world. They think they're smarter or more gifted or more ruthless or whatever in charge of everything, and they are, the tail is wagging the dog. It's sick. It's totally sick. And I'm not going along with it. I'm not selling my soul. I know what peace is. I know what beauty is. I know what how beautiful and special all life is. Every little fish, every little tree, every little frickin' deer, everything, every little baby. We need to frickin' start waking the hell up. All right. I think that's a pretty good rant. I think it's a pretty good rant. What else? What am I missing? Well, I don't think I'm missing anything other than I can hear I think I hear the ocean because my window's open a little for fresh air. And a great way to begin this new day would be to have some great waves, put my wetsuit on, paddle out even though it's probably in the 50s right now, to go paddle out in the ocean, catch a wave, watch the sun come up, or kind of turn my head to the east, feel the beautiful sun on my face out in that cold water. It's just wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, I hope you are well and wonderful wherever you are. And I hope you stand up and you speak up. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for justice, truth, liberty for all. Peace, love, and take good care. Over and out. Island Mountain. Pat reporting.